After 7+ years of studying manifestation and how we create our reality, I found a secret that's gonna blow you away, because I've discovered how by shifting our inner dialogue and giving back power to the true self, we can get anything we want in our reality. This is gonna take you deeper than the majority of the spiritual books that you've read, and I'm gonna reveal to you the true laws of your being. And you're gonna be able to step into a powerful creator and no longer be limited by your mind. I'm going to show you the step-by-step formula of how you can start applying this right now, today, and then I'm going to give you an amazing challenge. So let's start this by talking about attention. Attention is key because attention can turn into acceptance. Let me explain. Inside of you, there's a battle. There's a battle of your inner dialogue, like the angel and the devil in the cartoon sitting right next to each other here. And you hear different voices, right? There's the voice of the limitation of your ego that's really fear-based and it's always trying to keep you small. And then you have on the other side, the whispers and the intuition, the inner knowing of your higher self, of the light within you, which is the true source of your being. The first thing we need to become aware of is where you place your attention, you are accepting something and you're energizing that and bringing it into life. So just from a perspective of manifesting, wherever your attention is, that's what will seek expression in your life. Here's the first lesson. If you allow your attention to be fixed on your outer self, then your outer self and the ego are going to limit you, because those thoughts and feelings of fears of I can't do this or I'm not worthy to do that, to attract the love of my life, to reach a higher level of finances, if you're feeling this deep programming of unworthiness, of not being good enough to attract anything you want in your life, is because you're misidentifying with your ego. And what happens is, because you have so much power, because you have the faculties of God in you, you're going to manifest that in your reality. So if your attention is fixed on this unworthiness, on this problem, on this thing that you need to fix or solve, then you will keep perpetrating that cycle. Isn't that crazy? And if we can stop placing our attention and falling under the claws of misidentifying with our ego, we can remember that over here, we have a light that is the true source of our being, that is in connection to God, is the individualized presence of God in action. And if we can start to accept our true self, that's what self-acceptance really means. We need to start placing our attention back into our perfection, back into our true qualities of our being, which is divine love, power, wisdom, abundance, prosperity. And we instantly stop giving power away to the mind. And I want to ask you right now, imagine we're having a conversation. Where are you placing your attention? It's the most important faculty that you have inside. So it's not enough to do manifestation practices if during the majority of your day, your ego is directing your attention. And when your attention is fixed, that's what you create in your reality. So that's key number one, thinking very deeply about our attention. Attention creates acceptance. That's an amazing concept, because the lesson number two, if you want to get anything you want, to change your inner dialogue, you need to realize the world that you're seeing right now is an appearance, but it's not the ultimate truth. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you grew up in a family where you thought that money wasn't enough. Like there was never enough money. That was my personal experience as well as many other clients that I've served. And so they fear their ego a lot, because what they feared, there's never enough money, this lack, ended up manifesting in their reality. And they were like, wow, this must be truth because it's my reality, right? If it wasn't here, then it wouldn't be truth. How easy that is to get confused and think that just because you manifested something is the absolute truth. Because let's layer that on top of another immutable law of the universe. In heavenly reality, there isn't any lack or scarcity in your being or in your consciousness. The only reason that you manifested this lack is because you believed yourself to be your ego. So when we fear something, our energy is drawn there, and our minds, they start to create these cassette tapes that again and again keep us stuck in this loop of there's never enough. I gotta worry about paying this or about paying that. Or even when we make a lot of money, then for some reason it disappears. And that's because somewhere in your consciousness, there is a belief that your ego is tricking you into, and you're accepting it by placing your attention. So let's take a deep breath in. Let's ground with that second principle. Because in conclusion, this is a revelation, right? Even if you manifested this lack, it is only an appearance. It is not your absolute truth. And where you take your power back, my friend, is when you consciously express and set it into action. And even though there is this appearance of lack in my bank account, in my life, in my being, I know my true nature is of full abundance and opulence. And I say to all of these appearances within or without my being, and to all human creation, which is imperfect, you have no power. You can say this, and I want you to feel this right now. And then you say, I give back the power to my divine self, to my I am presence, which is God in me. And I accept only the perfection of my true self. And you can see by this simple practice how you start shifting your inner dialogue, and it will manifest. Lesson number 3 that I got to share with you is the personality or the human self is very impatient, myself included. I was the most impatient person that I knew. And everywhere I went, I was just getting so stressed. I would be driving in my car, traffic, I would get stressed out, I would get impatient. Doing a test in college, getting the results, I would get impatient. Everywhere I went, even when I was waiting for food, my mind had this addiction of, let's be impatient, let's get a little angry, let's get a little bit stressed, let's get a little bit anxious. And because my attention was firmly placed on that impatience, and I thought that I was that impatient, that took some momentum. And every day, it was like an energetic parasite. Imagine a leech that's, instead of sucking your blood, it's sucking out your life force. And the worst part is, you can't even see it because it's invisible, but it's still there. So whenever you're reacting, whenever you're getting angry, you're getting stressed, you're judging, these are all patterns and mechanisms of your ego. And the only right thing to do is self-correction. In that moment, as soon as you become aware of it, you need to correct yourself. This is the true and only way to master yourself. Because when you master yourself, you're able to bend reality. Why? Because you're able to control your attention wherever you want it to go, and you can place it and fix it on a specific desire, which is literally the key to manifesting and getting everything you want. So again, if you feel that you haven't gotten your manifestations, we need to start by quieting the mind. If you're not able to place firmly your attention on something that you want, then the reality is your mind has tricked you into having the picture in your mind of that which you don't want. Isn't that crazy? I think that's an amazing lesson for all of us to learn, that the mind is so in love with making us talk to other people and tell ourselves these stories of why things haven't worked out in the past. And the crazy thing is, by just speaking about those things, you are not only giving your power away, but you're manifesting that into your reality. So if you've noticed any patterns that you have to uproot, that you have to cut out and pluck out from your consciousness, make sure that there aren't any stories that are limiting your power and that are giving back the power to your ego. That's the whole game. Who has the power inside you? Your ego or your true self, your I am presence, God in action in you? And we can breathe, we can contemplate these truths that we're learning and take it a step further, and we can start applying these laws in our everyday life. And the way that we apply these true laws of our being is by starting and conquering that impatience of the personality, that skepticism that is not yours. What we will do when we're in our personality is that we will try something out for a day or a week, and when it doesn't work out, the ego starts telling you, oh, this doesn't work, let's try something else. And so I want you to be very aware of this clever trick, because it's taking your power away very deeply. And the right attitude and the right action should be to still the outer mind and to focus on this desire. This is the secret. So I want you to go joyously and happily deeper and deeper into this picture, into consciously shifting your inner dialogue and declaring and decreeing that you give power back to your higher self, to the true nature of your being, and that you say to your ego, you have no power. And when you do that consistently again and again, you will see that the outer reality that seemed so important, so heavy, so dense, that was limiting you, is going to lose its binding power over you. The same way that your ego is going to lose the binding power over you. And once you reach this point, once you beat the opponent of impatience, you will see that around week 3, you're flying and you're achieving and you're attracting like a magnet everything that you desired. I'm talking to you about the challenges and the tests that you have to overcome if you want to get to this level of mastery and reality creation. This is the truth. And it's a really beautiful journey and experience, but you need to beat the opponent in the mind. And so We start by consciously giving a power away to our true self. Then we start to quiet our minds and we place our attention on that which we want. And then third step, I want you to focus on that picture, on that truthful inner dialogue again and again, not from a place of lack that I need this, I'm empty, I need to fill a void inside me, but to give yourself the pleasure of feeling it. Feel that reality. Feel the power of your true self. And as you feel that, I can guarantee you that any deep-seated programming or conditioning of unworthiness, even if you felt it your entire life, you will first experience how all of those patterns and conditionings and fears are literally shattered into tiny pieces and they're consumed by your violet sacred fire. And you will ask yourself, how did I fall into this illusion for so long that I thought that this unworthiness was me? Because that's what the inner dialogue really does. When we're so consumed and identified by the ego, we get lost in that unworthiness, that separation. That's why changing your inner dialogue and focusing on what you want, only mastering and training again and again the mind to focus on what you want, is the secret to everything you've wanted. So here's your action plan. Imagine that we're having a session right now. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to set aside 30 minutes every morning. I'm going to put in the description here a template that I've created, which is called a monthly habit tracker. And if you're hungry, if you want to prove it for yourself, then this is what you have to do. Go print out that habit tracker and you're going to put in here these 3 daily habits. You're going to start by stilling the outer mind. This is going to be a silent meditation, and I will share this with you in the comments. You want to start by doing a silent meditation, and then you want to start feeling or sensing the picture of what you want to manifest. This is something that has to be a constructive desire. It can be money, it can be love, it can be anything. All of those things are constructive. And when you separate yourself from any programming, you will realize that you're worthy and deserving of all the best, because you're here to embody and express your divine birthright. You're the child of God, you're royalty, the son or the daughter of the creator of the universe. How are we going to show up every single day if we know that we have that mighty power? And then habit number 3, multiple times a day, I want you to say that statement. Whenever you catch yourself that your ego has taken over you, I want you to stop, I want you to breathe, and I want you to say this: mighty I am present, God in me, Father, I accept fully the fullness of your power. And I say to all human creation and to all appearances within or without my being, you have no power. Therefore, I stand forth free right now, forever held in the embrace of the light of my mighty I am presence, always free and victorious I am. And as you say that, you shatter away the momentum of the mind and give power back to your true self. My message and my direction for you is commit to doing this for 4 weeks every day, and this could be the most valuable video that you have seen in 2024. Because at the end of these 4 weeks, I can guarantee you that you will feel a new permanent level of personal power. Your power will be here, the mind power will be here, and that's going to be one of the most amazing feelings and tests that you can prove to yourself, and you do have the power to shift your inner and outer reality. So choose a goal, choose something, a picture that you want to manifest over the next 2 to 3 months, and start doing this day in and day out. Track it out, all of it in the habit system, and you're ready to go. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for tuning in, and subscribe and join us on this journey to conscious self-mastery. I have amazing resources in the description for us to connect and do some more amazing work. Much love. We'll talk soon.